Hello there. Welcome back to Selene Apoptosis. I still don't know how to freaking say any of this. The hell? Ethan couldn't see the lamps themselves, but he recognized the cold, shimmering lights they often used these lamps in offices. The lights filled the room to the brim. Ethan thought it was about to burst, and then the light would splash all over the room, just like juice from a squished tomato. Hello there, couch. Apart from the walls and the lights, the room had a red sofa. The sofa stood just a bit aside from the center, not too large, not quite faded, full of flooded with shimmering white light. This light made the sofa seem to be trembled a little, and the room trembled with it. Okay. Suddenly, Ethan thought it would be way better if the sofa was standing right in the middle. Then he felt some on his temple, a touch. He had to flinch, scream, stumble to the side, yet he couldn't. He was paralyzed. Only his eyes could move, and they desperately tried to reach beyond his field of vision, where something was touching his temple. Ethan felt a faint flow of air, as if something was whispering in his ear. He did hear the whisper, just one word. Ethan no longer remembered what the word was, and he jumped up in his bed, gasping for air. Hope muttered something in her sleep and turned to the other side. It took a long time to get back to sleep, but by morning Ethan did pass out, and when he woke up, the dream wiped out of his mind pretty quick. The task had interested him much more than some muck spelling out of his subconscious. He was thinking about the task while he was chewing on the morning toast, driving to the bank and all the way back. Huh. The hell? It was just like Christmas present, waiting for the time in the closet. The more you tell yourself you shouldn't think about it, the more you do. At home, Ethan tried to stick to his plan, working on the project he was paid for, but ending up sitting over a single report for several hours. He couldn't squeeze out a letter. To hell with it. After all, he was almost done with his current project. It wouldn't be much of a problem if he persisted the result a bit long later would it? Besides, it was really time for him to get a breather. One can't be spending too much time in a world where madness cures the death are categorized. Hell with it. Ethan thought as he closed the files of the project he was paid for. Oh shit. There was plenty of information, but Ethan knew he would not get an answer right away. The accurate answer was just like the precious pearls. Lay at the great depths he had to go down to the very bottom. Ethan was not afraid. He had done it many times. Okay, so we're just going to the depths of hell just to get information? His counterparts might have to wait for a week or so, but Ethan knew he'll manage to crack the riddle. Why, hello? I thought everything was just gonna start freaking out. What he didn't know is what else could be found in those great depths. And at some point in his investigation, things started happening. He started hearing surprising phrases, even though he never turned on the TV, the radio, and Hope wasn't even at home. When he sat in front of the screen, once again trying to connect the dots on his research, he could feel someone looking at the back of his head. When he turned around, of course, there was no one in the room. Fuck. Eventually, he thought to tell himself not to turn around. He just got angry, pushing fingers into his temples when he firmly feeling appeared again. He started losing things, or rather, things would disappear and then appear in the strangest places. One day he found his pencil in the freezer, stuck in a mincemeat banquet. Even when the banquet melted down, he couldn't pull the whole pencil out. All Ethan got was a bloody stump. Hell. At this point, he could stop and think of it. But got distracted by the coffee maker and mindlessly shoved the stump into the trash bin. He's losing his mind. There was something wrong with the shadows, too. They became sharper, thicker, and deeper. And it was the case in the whole apartment. Sometimes they moved. Of course, Ethan only felt like they were moving. It couldn't have been any other way. Ethan didn't really pay attention to any of this, just like he did with that dream he had. All of that seemed very unfamiliar, as he already experienced similar things during the periods of intense work, when his nervous system was exhausted by the workload. There always was a rational explanation. The stress, or those new, much more environmentally friendly light bulbs that Hope had installed all around the apartment. Besides, it's so easy to dismiss this sort of thing when you're deeply invested into something. And this question really got Ethan involved. Every time he seemed to get it right, his thoughts went off. Like he was climbing a rock, but a safe the ledge suddenly turned slippery. And the next thing he knew, he's at the bottom again. He never faced anything like that during his previous research. There were times he had to spend weeks or months looking for the right answer. These were the tricky cases, and at least he could always tell how his research is progressing. This time he was stumbling in his tracks without knowing why that was. All he could tell. Ha. The week was over, but he still had nothing to send back to his contact. In his reply, Ethan asked a couple of questions. Not that he was really interested, just as a courtesy. And that's how their surprisingly existing email conversation started. With this, Ethan's contacts grew to be something more, something of a friend, maybe. He never asked how Ethan's work was progressing. This was the question Ethan asked himself, and the answer was never good for him. Oh, shit. Now we know. Of course, he started sleeping badly. Falling asleep was easy, but he woke up many times during the night, sometimes in a cold sweat. Ethan could not remember his dreams. That night, he woke up about 3 or 4 times. At first, Ethan was lucky enough to fall asleep almost immediately after he woke up. But at the same point, his eyes got open again. This time, the sleep wouldn't come. Ethan felt terribly thirsty. He found no slippers in his usual spot. The noise could wake up hope, so he decided not to look for them, and only regretted it when approaching the kitchen. The floor was bloody cold, so cold that Ethan unconsciously looked down. Huh. Hello? Good thing there it has been censored. Hopefully. She's definitely wearing a shirt. Definitely wearing a shirt. And when he was looking, he saw the shadow. She's definitely wearing a shirt, guys. YouTube, don't get mad. No doubt, that shadow belonged to a woman. A naked woman. Nope, she's wearing a shirt. Ethan could clearly see the points of her nips as the shadow turned around. No wonder it's freezing cold here. The shadow moved slowly along the wall, floating in a regular pool filled with moonlight. She was dancing. She was dancing and humming silence. In Ethan's ears was her music. Ethan was watching her, unable to move. He was paralyzed, just like back then in his dream. He did not remember it. At the moment, he didn't remember anything at all. Couldn't talk about anything at all. What is this? He felt an itch in his eyes. and momentarily urged to blink. For a fraction of a second, he could only see the thick, viscous darkness. And when he opened his eyes, there was no shadow anymore. The glowing reluctance shifting in its place, and now lay on the kitchen floor at Ethan's feet. He could see a cold white light flooding into the seams between the tiles of the floor. For some reason, he took a deep breath, then stepped forward into the rectangle of the light. Rectangle of light. Huh. I think this is the best time to come to the end of the episode. Leaving us questioning what the fuck was going on. So, I hope all you guys have a great, wonderful time and a great day too. So, see you guys next time. Like, question what the fuck we're gonna do.